Evaluation of the application of an inclusive education policy on screening, identification, assessment and support of the learners at schools in South Africa. This article is written by two authors. First author Mantheme Florina Matalo. Second author Alani Mrambuta. Contribution and originality of the study is that, this study is one of very few studies which have investigated the application of an inclusive education policy on screening, identification, assessment and support of learners, SIAS, 2014 policy at South African schools. An effective implementation of this policy will depend largely on educators' training and development. The aim of this research was to evaluate the application of an inclusive education policy on screening, identification, assessment and support of learners, SIAS, policy at South African schools. The research explores how educators screen, identify, and assess barriers to learning as well as support learners with barriers. The variables on the screening, identification, assessment and support of learners were chosen as a focal point of this study mainly because they were all variables contained in the policy which must be mastered by the educators during the policy application. A survey design of quantitative research approach was followed. Document analysis of the SIAS 2014 policy document was done over the target population of educators in primary and secondary schools. A simple random sampling technique was used to select 320 male and female respondents from both primary and secondary schools. The quantitative data were collected using a 7-point semantic differential scale which elicited responses from a total of 250 educators. Descriptive statistics were used to analyze data on the educators' responses about the extent to which they implemented the inclusive education policy. Statistical data revealed that the implementation of the policy was modest. Educators do not effectively use the screen resources such as the learner profile to screen barriers, and the support needs assessment 1 is not effectively used to identify and assess the barriers experienced by learners. As a result, support of learners was found to be inadequate. An independent samples t-test revealed that there was statistically significant difference between the means of primary and secondary schools in the application of SIAS 2014 policy. This research recommends that the teacher training institutions should capacitate aspiring educators about inclusive education policies such as the SIAS 2014 policy rationale, principles, and how the policy is to be effectively implemented at schools. Thanks for watching this video of International Journal of Education and Practice Volume 10 Issue Number 1.